Okay, so today is a good day. We've got the Superleggera wing finally out of the closet. It's in this box here, which you will see in a minute. I'm not going to take it out right now. But we're going to be installing that today. I've got the bag full of hardware here to install the wing. There's some carbon fiber bases here, which you'll see in a minute. I'm not going to bother unwrapping that right now. These are the gaskets that go between the base of the spoiler and the car. And go ahead and take a guess at how much these ridiculous things cost. Go ahead, I'll wait. Alright, so these are 40 bucks a piece. See those two little rubber rings? 40 bucks a piece. So this entire package here, 80 bucks from LamboParts.com. I always like to reference price because, especially on parts like that, I know everyone likes to hear how much things cost. And this is a perfect example of how much a little simple part, how much more you'd pay for a little simple part when you own a Lambo. So, Superleggera wing going on here in a few minutes. And what I really wanted to show you was the taillights and corners that I got back from the painter last week. And I think they came out really good. And it's probably kind of hard to tell the tint level on these right now because they're not against the bright yellow paint. But you can see they're not extreme black or anything like that. I just wanted something a little bit more darker than the bright red, almost pink taillights. And of course, you can definitely see the difference on the amber corner markers there that go on the front. I think these are going to look a lot better than the factory taillights and corner markers. So again, all I had done here is I just had them spray them out with some black and clear coat mixed together, and came out great. So those are going to be going on probably later this week or next week, whenever I get some time. But I just want to show you those really quick. So what we're going to do here, just to recap, is we're going to remove this stock wing and be replacing it with the carbon fiber Superleggera wing. So this wing it actually moves up and down. Actually moves up at around 60 or 70 miles an hour, and then it goes down when you slow down. So there's a motor in here that controls the wing that we're going to have to basically disconnect. And in order to get to all that stuff, we got to remove this plastic cover that goes over the rear bonnet here. So it's all just held on with a bunch of Torx head screws. You can see there. So I'm going to take all of these off. And it looks like I gotta take the ones off around my grills there. So it looks like those grills are gonna need to be popped out as well. And I think once I remove all the screws, I may be able to just let this thing hang down, so I don't have to remove those gas shocks there. And I think we'll be able to get to all the wing controls once we do that. Okay, so I've got the fins removed from, or the grills, whatever you want to call these things. I've got these removed from the bonnet there. So now I can remove this plastic piece here and we'll get to that wing. Those look like when they're removed. That plastic liner off, and it's just kind of hanging there. This is what a friend of mine who just did this install on his car did, because if I wanted to completely remove this plastic, I'd have to disconnect those gas shocks, and I need someone to help me hold this bonnet, and I don't have anyone right now. So anyways, I've got this plastic just hanging here. That's all good, and you can see the workings, or the mechanical parts of the wing. You can see the wings right here, and this little I assume it's a hydraulic line on each side, basically, I don't know, moves this little flap here and it pushes the wing up and down. So we're going to be removing that, then removing the wing, and then there's a couple things I need to disconnect in here, and I'm just going to go by the pictures that my friend sent me as I go here and just kind of figure it out. Okay, so I've got this whole contraption removed on each side here, and like I said, I think these are hydraulic lines, I think anyways, and basically I've got the entire mechanism that was here that used to rotate up and push up on the stock wing that used to be there, which is now gone, by the way. But I've removed that arm, so I still want the car to think that the wing is here so it doesn't throw any check engine codes. So I'm leaving this whole, obviously this whole system of hydraulic lines and stuff, whatever this is here, I'm leaving this in place, but there's just no arm there, so it's not going to push up on the wing that's there now. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to bolt this up here in a minute and just put it back where it used to be. Again, it's just that little arm that used to be there is not there anymore. And now what you see installed are the two carbon fiber bases for the new Superleggera wing. So I've already got that bolted up in there on each side. And you can see the 3 holes on the top. The wing, the new wing, is going to bolt right on top of there, and those $40 piece gaskets are going to go around that hole. So let's do that next. Okay, so we've got the wing mounted finally. That was kind of a pain in the ass. These things here, and I still don't know exactly how they work, but the things that used to lift up the wing, they're bolted back on. But really what was a pain in the ass about this was these bases here, these carbon fiber bases. Well, they bolt to the bonnet, or whatever you call this thing. The way these bolt to this, and then the wing bolts to these bases, and all, you know, there's 3 Allen head bolts in there. And I know you can't really see it, but there's 3 Allen head bolts that bolt to the bonnet, and then there's 3 inside that bolt to the wing on each side. And all holes just didn't line up perfectly, so it really did take some messing around to get it just right. So I'm gonna put this plastic back on so I can set this hood or bonnet, whatever you want to call it, down, and we can see what this looks like. You can already see how cool it looks already. Okay, so if you get this thing just right, which is what I have to do, it can actually balance. I'm just gonna be really careful because you have to get it perfect, or the shocks will push the bonnet up and the wing would hit the ceiling there. I've obviously got the car on stands for the winter, just to make it easy to work on underneath and stuff. So I don't really have the clearance up there. The wing actually hits the ceiling, so I just got to be careful. So I've got the wing on, I've got the plastic back on, I've got these vents back in. Those are just held in with about 6 little screws on each side. Kind of a pain to get to because you're leaning over the car. This thing is really wide, so you're really going to lean over, you know, that huge section of rear quarter panel there. It's kind of a pain, but it's doable. So those are back in. Now what I'm going to do now is, you can see the bottom of the wing, how it's open like that. That is because they give you 2 different inserts to go in there. Now this is what I'm going to put on. It just covers up the hole in the wing, and the reason why that hole is there is because you can mount a backup camera in there. Now I don't have a backup camera yet. I'm going to be putting one in this winter, and when I do, you can see that there's a spot for the backup camera, and I'll eventually be putting this on, but for now we'll just go ahead and put this one on. It's just held on with 4 screws. Okay, so there it is, all installed. You can see that I've got the panel there on the bottom. Can't really see it from behind. Now, really quickly before we wrap up, I want to let you know about the final piece of this puzzle, and it's the third brake light, which is actually an Audi part, and it's actually going to be going in the wing like this. However, I forgot to send this out with the rest of the tail lights and corner markers to get tinted. So I'm going to send this back to the painter, and what I'm going to have him do is I'm going to make this piece extra dark, really, you know, as close to black as possible, because I want it to blend in with the wing. And the reason I want to do that is because it's not going to be functional. So these wings come with the hole for the third brake light, but the Gallardos have another third brake light up there, which I guess is impossible to take out without breaking. So I'm just going to keep it up there. So when you're behind the car and when you have a wing on it, the third brake light is kind of hidden up there. So that's why they relocate them to the wing. However, in order for me to relocate the third brake light, or add a third brake light to the wing that actually works, that would require me to, you know, mess with the wiring of the car, and I don't want to do that. So long story short, I'm just going to put this in the wing to fill the hole. It's going to be painted dark smoke, you know, pretty close to black. It will blend in there. No one will really ever notice it's there. And we'll keep the functioning third brake light up there, which is going to be somewhat hidden, but not really. That's the Superleggera wing install on my 04 Lamborghini Gallardo. A lot of you have been asking for this, and I finally had time to do it. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to post below in the comments. Press like if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm always publishing new videos like this on a weekly or bi-weekly basis whenever I get time to do something to the car. We've got warm weather coming up soon, so the car will be coming out to play probably in a couple months, and you'll get to see all the mods I've been doing to it over the winter. You get to see that, all those mods in the real world. So I look forward to making more in-car videos soon. Until then, I'll talk to you next time.